Hello and welcome back to the ET Enthusiast. I'm Wesley Boudelier, and we are here with somebody who was not directly working on the film, but is carrying on the legacy of ET and of someone who was instrumental in making ET what it was. And I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, but you could technically make the case that she is ET's sister because her father is directly responsible for creating ET, Carlo Rambaldi. We are here with Daniela Rambaldi. How are you?
Hi, Wesley. I'm fine, thank you. Hello, everyone.
It is
It's
great
a
to
pleasure
speak
to
with
be
you.
here.
Yes, thank you so much for doing this. I was already commenting on your shrine back there. You got several awesome photographs from over the years. There's a great one of your dad lighting a
Yeah,
cigarette for
actually,
ET.
that one has Steven's autograph on it.
Wow, I think I've seen maybe
And
a photocopy of that on online.
that one has Steven's autograph on it, and it says, to Carlos, cigarette smoking is hazardous, so pull the cord that will prevent him from inhaling.
Is that a reference to like the actual puppet of ET? Is there a cord that would do something like that?
Well, I think he really meant for my father to stop smoking
Yeah.
because my father was a terrible smoker. So it was in connection to that.
Gotcha. That's a great photo though. I love lighting up a cigarette for ET, and then you got
Yeah.
him receiving his Oscar as well.
Yes, that one. Actually, I'm not sure if that one was for. Yeah, that one was for ET. Actually, yes, it is.
I was gonna say we gotta specify because there's multiple there.
Yeah, there's three of them. So
what's the figure there? The ET figure you have, because I don't think I've ever seen that one.
This one.
Yeah.
This one is
Wow.
actually a replica of the original one that the foundation uses when we do the exhibits, and especially when we tour schools.
Wow, that's amazing.
So to avoid bringing the original ones around, we did a replica.
That's a great idea. Was this made with like maybe like the same like mold or anything?
Actually, this was done by our foundation studios, and it is a digital recreation.
Oh, wow.
And this is actually a 3D how do you say it?
Like 3D printed?
Exactly. A 3D printer, yes.
Awesome. That looks incredible. That's better than you can buy in a store anywhere, I can tell you that.
Yes, actually, we had this from the measurements were from the original prints.
Wow.
So this is the closest that you can get to the real one.
Wow.
Yes.
That's incredible.
I'll let you know when we put it in production.
Oh yeah, I definitely need one of those. I have quite the you probably can't see from me covering it, but I have quite the shelf full of ETs.
Have a lot.
Yeah. Nothing quite that good though. So rewinding a little bit, I don't know how old you are. I don't want to ask you that, but
I'm 52. That's fine. I'm 52.
Okay, so you were around during when ET was first made.
Yes, I was.
Because celebrating its 40th. That's what I was wondering. So were you kind of alongside your dad seeing ET kind of take shape then?
Yes, actually, when my father started working on the ET model in clay, I was called in his lab, and he wanted to know my impression on, what emotions would this creature, what would I see? What were my impressions? And I said, well, Daddy, it's kind of ugly, but it has it's kind of ugly, but I like the fact that he doesn't have any legs, and so that had a sense of innocence. He couldn't run away. And the part that I liked the most actually was his behind, which was a little bit like Donald Duck's.
Yeah. Oh,
I
it
said,
is. I never thought about that.
see,
He does have a
and I
very funny
said,
butt.
yes. So I said he's ugly, but I like him. I'm not scared. I wasn't scared of him. I was very my emotions were positive.
That's great. So, so you were, I know your cat at the time was part of the inspiration for the design of
The
ET.
eyes. Yeah. Actually, that my cat influenced very much ET's eyes.
Yeah.
My father loved this Himalayan blue point cat we had. Her name was Kika,
Yeah.
and her eyes were just very, very, very particular. They had an innocence to them that my father really, really loved. And so yeah, he was inspired by her for his eyes.
That's fantastic. Um, when he was working on ET or on anything, was there a lot of like back and forth between like, oh, Spielberg doesn't like this, he wants more of this or something like that? Like, were you privy to any of that?
Well, when he was working on ET, they had several meetings with Steven from the first sketch. My father was called in the project while another team had already worked on an ET model. So my father came in later on to redesign the entire project. And of course, Stephen gave my father inputs on what, the creature, this alien should look like. And so after reading the script over and over and figuring out all the actions that this mechatronic actor needed to play out, my father started working on a model pretty much this, just a little bit bigger than this one, which is the one I was called in to see.
Mhm.
And when Spielberg saw it, he said, perfect, it's exactly what I meant. And
Wow.
then from then on, it's history. So
Wow. So, man, so not only do you have to, he would have to create what this creature is going to look like, but then you also have to think about how is this thing going to move? Like, how are we going to hide things to make it
exactly.
move? That's
Exactly,
that's
exactly. That
wild.
was a big challenge back then.
Yeah.
And I remember that when it premiered on June 11th of 82 at the Dome Theater, when the movie was over, there was a journalist that asked my father, Carlo, everyone is coming out of the theater with tears in their eyes. Did you cry? And my father said, actually, I would have cried if ET had not worked on the set. So
Yeah. Wow. So was all of I'm sure there's so many like tests and stuff that you have to do to make sure that something this like sophisticated is working before you go on set. Was all of that done like at your home?
and in the lab, my father worked with, I believe there were 12 operators. Each one had a cable that he was responsible for, and everything needed to be coordinated. So there was a lot of practice for each action that ET needed to play out. There was a lot of practice in coordinating all the movements. Yes.
Wow. Did you ever get to go on the set when they were filming? Were you ever hanging around there?
I wasn't able to go on the set. The set was a very blocked out area.
Yeah, I've
Um,
heard it was very like secretive and kind of
yes,
locked
very
down.
much. And as a matter of fact, even while my father was holding ET in the lab, um, no one was allowed to go in, and only the people that worked with my father.
Wow.
And at night, my father would put him in a secret room with a lock on, because on the contract with Universal, my father was totally responsible for not showing him or not letting anything out.
Wow. And
So
I'm assuming he did that well. Like uh I wasn't born at the time, but I'm assuming there probably were not any leaks or anything like, hey, this is
nothing at all,
it,
nothing at all.
it was a
Yeah, he
little
was
easier
very.
back then with no internet. I can't imagine how hard it would be now.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. And besides, my father's lab was in a in a neighborhood where it wasn't really in the center of Los Angeles, so it was very
Hmm,
secretive. Yes,
wow. So was he on set a lot? Was he
yes,
doing
he
a lot
was.
of the actual puppeteering?
Yes, exactly. He supervised every shot where ET was in action.
Wow.
He was
And
responsible. If there was a problem, they needed to fix it right there and then. Um, the production had already had problems with the timing because when they started filming in the beginning, they had already lost a lot of months. So when my
mm,
father came into the project, he only had 6 months to make this ET.
wow.
So,
From scratch, from the
there
bottom
was
up.
really exactly the margins of error were really, really, really low. So my father had to make sure that everything turned out perfect at the end of the day. So he was on set the entire time when ET was acting.
Yeah, wow. Were there ever any moments that you heard about where something went wrong? I'm assuming nothing catastrophic, but was there
No,
ever?
nothing catastrophic. No, nothing catastrophic. Everything went quite well.
Clearly, with the Oscar to show for that.
Yeah.
um, um, did you guys? I know you're in possession of some stuff now, but did your father keep any like did he get to keep like a full animatronic, or was that like property of
Yes.
Universal or
No, actually, by contract, the image of ET is copyright of Universal, but all
right?
the mechatronics, mechanics, and all those projects remained copyright of my father. So we
Wow.
do have the animatronic. I'm sure you've seen it on the Instagram or Facebook on the foundation social media. And we do have that one. We also have a full image, a full actually ET, the one that was used in the closet, when
Mhm.
he's with all those toys.
Yeah.
And then we have the one with the heart.
Hmm.
We have the one with the heart. And then we also have a head that was used on different ETs, depending on what uh, facial expressions were needed in that scene. And
Wow.
all of this is being worked on for to stop the decaying of time. So
Yeah.
we have it in Milan right now. It's going through a restoration process, a very conservative restoration process.
Wow.
And we might be having an exhibit in LA in November
Wow.
if
That would be
we get
incredible.
everything ready. Yes.
I was gonna say because I've seen some pictures you guys have where it's like a full ET, and I've seen some where you do get some of that decaying, like you said, where it's like just the face maybe. And
Hmm.
but I mean that's part of it with like I don't know the exact materials. Do you of because
Well, back then, they didn't have any long lasting like silicone and
yeah,
stuff like that. So latex, foam latex was used for the skin.
yeah,
And after 40 years, I mean, we age, so
yeah,
you can just imagine. And they were kept very safely in wooden cases, but
hmm,
still, when we opened them about 3 years ago, even just getting the air, um, the latex started to brittle.
yeah,
It was like you touched it and it was like touching sand. It would turn
yeah,
into sand in your hands. So it was totally necessary to stop this process, and all the cracks are
Mhm.
being filled up. So, we're trying to do the best we can to save whatever is left.
Yeah, no, that's great. I had no idea you guys were restoring them like that, but that's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, very
um,
exciting.
I know they have a full ET at the Oscars. They just opened like an Academy Museum, but
Hmm.
I may be wrong here. I don't know that that one was like a screen used ET. It looks a little off to me.
Yes, I think it's one of those they used when they had the ET attraction at Universal Studios.
Oh, that would make sense.
I think it's that one because, to my knowledge, all the ETs that were used on set, my father had them on consignment.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I believe that one is one from the ET ride at Universal.
that would make a lot of sense. I know they probably, I don't know if they fess up that it's that it's from there at the Oscar Museum or not, but
No, yeah, exactly. It doesn't say it's from there, but I'm pretty sure it is, unless it's just the one that was used for the lighting. You
oh,
know,
right, right.
there was an empty one without any mechatronics inside. But I do remember there was one that it was used for the lighting. So it
Oh,
could be that
that
or
would
the
make a lot
one.
of sense.
I'll find
Yeah.
out when I go. I haven't
Yeah.
seen that personally yet, but
No, I
friends of
haven't.
mine have sent me pictures.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in person, but I've when they showed the little clip of it telling people to go there during the Oscars this year, I
Mhm.
was there's ETs right there.
Or it
um,
could also be the one that actually the Stan Winston studio did for a 1999 commercial, I believe. It could also
oh,
be that one. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's one that Spielberg
I
had for sure.
yeah, I know they used it wouldn't surprise me if it was one from Universal from the ride because I know they've used some of those before. I know they did like a Progressive insurance commercial in the 90s and they used
Mhm.
some of the animatronics from the ride. Did your dad work on any of the animatronics for the ride or is that's probably a whole nother thing, right?
No, no, no. That's a whole another. That's totally something else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a feeling. I didn't know if maybe they were like, "Help us, please. We don't know how to do this."
No, no, no. Not that I recall.
um, what was your father's relationship kind of like with ET after, like after the fact? Because I know like it was such a huge hit. Was he kind of more sentimental towards that, towards ET more than maybe some of the other films he worked on?
Well, actually, my father was very well, the I think ET is his most famous creature, of course. So I think he has a more I don't know. Um, mm, I'm not sure if he preferred ET. I think every movie for him was a challenge, and in every movie he put his soul. So E.T. was a very simple movie. The script was very simple. It seemed a story for families. Nobody knew what success it would bring on. And after E.T., of course, it was a worldwide hit. And the funny thing is that my father, when he spoke about E.T., he never said the puppet. He always talked about E.T. as a mechanical actor. So yeah, that's the only thing that I noticed. Well, before he would talk about creatures and puppets, and then with E.T., all of a sudden he started talking about E.T., the mechanical actor.
Wow, that's pretty fun. Did he even receive a script? Because I know they were kind of secretive with the script as well, or was it more like, "Hey, this is what we need him to do. Can you
No,
make that
he
happen?"
my father read the script.
Nice.
Actually, I remember the night that Spielberg called my father after the first day on set when they started filming the ET that my father had made, and he said, "Carlo," it was very late at night, and I remember he said, Carlo, I have a big problem. We must meet tomorrow. My father and Spielberg had already worked together on Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Right.
So I think due to that, when Spielberg didn't like what the previous ET looked like, and made the decision to bring my father into the project, was the fact that he had already seen the type of work that my father made. So my father read the script over and over because he needed to figure out all the actions that ET had to make. And if he hadn't read the script, um, how was he going
Yeah.
to make an ET that could do so many actions?
Right.
More
It'd
than
be
one ET was made to cover all the actions.
right. Yeah. It'd be bad if they didn't let him read it and get in there and you're like, oh, his neck is supposed to
Exactly.
grow like 2 feet.
Exactly. But even the title of the movie wasn't E.T. the Extraterrestrial. During
Right.
the shooting, it was A Boy's Life.
Uh-huh.
So even the
Yeah.
title was kept very secretive.
Yeah, that I always use this as a little fun fact for people. I probably have said it before, but in Gremlins that Spielberg produced, you can see A Boy's Life is on like the theater marquee when they walk by a movie theater, which
Uh-huh.
I always like that.
Yeah.
um
So
I would love to learn more about what you guys are up to now with the foundation, because I know you told us about restoring all of these ETs, and then I guess the plan is an exhibit in LA. But I know you guys do a lot with schools. You do a lot
mhm.
with the kids and with what is the what are you guys working on now, and what's the like overall plan? Like, what can we expect?
Well, my father died 10 years ago, right? In 2012. So in 2014, we decided to open the foundation, and we gave the foundation a mission. And the mission was to not only preserve all his professional career, all his movies, all his projects, and his props and stuff like that, but we wanted to spread the voice that if you believe in something and you have a passion, you can achieve whatever you want. So the mission was to, new generations, children don't really know ET, right? So our project takes ET into the schools, and we actually movie as a tool to for some to express social thematics like friendship, love, acceptance, no to bullying, and things like that. And the movie is very clear. The children, even we start with 6 years old. Okay, we go into elementary schools and we show the movie, and the kids pick up the message immediately. They immediately become overprotective towards ET. And then we have a contest, a drawing, and every kid draws what mostly they liked about the movie. Okay, and then we have workshops. We let children use clay. Now, even the little ones already have phones and iPads in their
Yeah.
hands, and they don't do anything with their hands anymore. So the project is really to make kids use their hands to create something. And it's going great. We not only promote the movie, of course, and ET, but we also, I think, we do something wonderful for the parents that finally see their kids not being bored and just creating something. So this is our project, and we're also touring the World of Carlo Rambaldi exhibit,
Yes.
with emphasis this year because it's his 40th anniversary.
Hmm.
Um, we were stopped by the pandemic. So now we are reprogramming all the events.
So that the exhibit, like going around the world, is that kind of everything that you guys have, like every
Yes,
animatronic, every
exactly.
that's great.
Exactly. It starts from, from his career in the 50s in Italy, the movies that he did in Italy, and then from 1976 when he moved to Hollywood for King Kong, because his first
Yeah,
movie in America was Dino De Laurentiis' King Kong.
right.
Um, and then Alien, and then E.T., and then his last movie actually was a Japanese movie, Rex,
Oh,
which
wow.
is funny because the story kind of resembles E.T. It's a story of a little girl with a dinosaur. And I don't know if you've seen it. If you don't, I suggest you see it because
No, no,
it's
now I'm curious though.
mhm. It's a 1994 movie. It's a Japanese movie, and the name is Rex, and it resembles a lot the story of E.T. And that was his last animatronic movie. And then he moved back to Italy in 2003 and dedicated his last 10 years to painting
Wow,
and finally being a full-time grandfather.
that's sweet. Did so do you have kids then?
Five. I have five kids.
Wow. Wow. And did they grow up watching ET, or were they uh
Of course, of course. My house is full of ETs. We have every sort of imagery, prop, designs. Yeah,
did
I
they
think
were they able to understand that, like when they were young, like, oh, grandpa created this thing that we're looking at here?
when you grow up in a place where ET seems like part of the family,
Yeah.
you don't really realize what it what it means to the world. I think they started to get a grip of what it meant to have a grandfather like they had around 9, 10 years old.
Mhm.
Um, but until then, they just thought that ET was part of the family, and that was it.
That's fantastic. Do you guys still have all of your father's Oscars as well?
Yes, we do.
That's awesome.
And we do bring them on it. Um, they are very well preserved.
Yeah.
They're very heavy. And so it's funny when we travel with them, customs always stops us. They always open our luggage and they want to know, if they were stolen, if they belong to us. Every time it's the same old story. We need to go on Google and show them who Carlo Rambaldi was and the Oscars belong to him and that we're the foundation and you're traveling to exhibit, you know, the world of Carlo Rambaldi and of course the three Oscars. And it's funny because some of them even try to open them up from the bottom.
Oh
Maybe we're
no.
hiding something,
Yeah. Hiding
and they
contraband
bring
in
the
an Oscar.
mhm, and they bring the dog to smell them because probably think that we have something in it. But uh, so once we almost lost our plane because custom was really picky about it.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I never thought
Yeah,
about how difficult it'd be to travel with an Oscar. That
right, exactly.
that's great that you guys have them though. That's because I hear so many where my stepdad's aunt, this is like a weird connection, but his aunt was Verna Fields, who edited Jaws, so she also worked on a Spielberg, just somehow missed ET, like edited a lot of Spielberg films and missed that one, won an Oscar for editing Jaws. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like where's her Oscar? And he's like, I don't know who has it, maybe her kids. I'm like,
Oh my
I
God.
hope they have it. I hope no one sold it off somewhere.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so he grew up like I think he may have even met Spielberg as a kid, but he was so just like not interested in movies and stuff. And I'm like, you lived my dream, dude. Like, I missed out. That's no, that's fantastic though. I'm sure you guys haven't planned where all you're gonna travel with the exhibit, but I know the Center for Puppetry Arts here in Atlanta would be a prime place for that, I think.
Okay, give them our contact and we'll get in touch.
I definitely will, because yeah, that's a great place, and they have a great Jim Henson exhibit, but they always have new things in there, and that would be, man, I can't even imagine. That's
Great.
that
We would love to bring it out to Atlanta.
that would be phenomenal. But I'm excited to follow the progress of you guys restoring these ETs back to their former glory, and
Yes, yes.
see them on display. That'll be exciting. And I'll let you say where can everybody find you guys and follow along with everything.
Well, we are on social media,
Mhm.
and we have our Carlo Rambaldi Foundation site, which it's in Italian, so it's
Yeah.
www.fondazioneculturalecarlorambaldi.it. But on Instagram, on Facebook, and we're trying to expand.
That's great. Yeah, no, it was good to hear you say that out loud, because I always I follow you guys on everything, and I'm like, I don't know how to read some of the stuff I'm looking at, but I'm excited to see y'all. It's
Yes.
you guys got some great stuff on there. Great shirts too. I need to get me a shirt.
Okay, give me your address and I'll send it out to you.
Yeah, I'll definitely take you up on that. But this has been great, and I'm excited to see what you guys do next, and might have to have you back on to talk about it once you guys start
Definitely.
going around town with everything.
Yes, definitely. We can probably even do a live at an exhibit. I would love to do that.
That would be incredible.
Give you a personal tour of the ET exhibit.
Yeah, I got to get to LA, man. That's where all the ETs are. But thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This was great, and your father was an incredible guy. It was
thank you.
Really
Thank you,
made my childhood, and a lot of other people's too.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for having me. And yes, keep following us for all the new events that are going to be coming up.
Awesome. Well, look forward to that. And thank you everybody for watching. This has been great, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to thank Ruby Mariscal for our amazing artwork and intro animation. And I want to thank Katie Terry for letting me use her amazing song as our theme music. And I want to thank you for tuning in. And until next time, I'll be right here.